Historic movie theaters are among the top 11 most endangered historic places in the United States. The National Trust for Historic Preservation warns hundreds of these irreplaceable cinemas have been demolished and more close every year. The history of film entertainment in the North Platte Valley began in 1910, when short movies were shown at the Opera House on Main Street in Scottsbluff. There have been many small theaters since then: the Crystal, the Star, the Sun, the Otto, the Orpheum, the Bluffs. In 1927, Scottsbluff became the home of the Egyptian Theater. Built by William Austenberg, it was the ultimate in theaters, the finest in the state of Nebraska. In 1945, the Egyptian Theater burned. In its place was built one of the grandest theaters that the Valley had ever seen. The Midwest Theater opened on May 3, 1946. Designed by architect Charles Strong, the theater was a wonder. The 68-foot-tall neon tower of stars, patterned after the World's Fair Tower in San Francisco, could be seen for 20 miles. The Art Moderne style is unusual in a theater from this period. The architectural details reflect no straight lines. Three-dimensional plaster scrolls on the walls are decorated with wonderful hand-painted murals that extend to the ceiling. The stage is flanked by more curves and flowing lines. The interior is lit by neon that glows and creates a sense of mystery, a sense of anticipation. The Midwest Theater is not just a place to see movies. It is part of the show. Scottsbluff's Broadway was a busy place in the years that followed. It was the heart of the town, and the Midwest Theater was the gem. Sadly, the grand old movie theaters that graced the landscapes of America's downtowns have all but disappeared. On September 12, 1996, the Midwest Theater was closed. The neon tower with its twinkling stars would no longer light up the evening sky. The last film at the Midwest brought to an end the existence of Scottsbluff's downtown theaters. In 1998, the Friends of the Midwest Theater was formed. Its mission: to save the old theater, to preserve it for generations to come. Volunteers are working hard to restore the Midwest to its former glory.
I'm really excited about seeing the marquee out front again. You know, it was kind of like Chimney Rock was to the pioneers, just to see that beautiful tall spire and to see it lighted with those blinking satellite globes on there, kind of like a beacon. You know, the entire downtown had neon, but none of it was like the Midwest Theater, and it was just awesome.
Movies are appearing again on the big screen. However, movies alone will not provide enough revenue to sustain the building. The Grand Old Lady must be multi-purpose to survive into the 21st century. The Midwest Theater is on the National Register of Historic Places. The integrity and the history of the building will be preserved as much as possible. With some changes and the addition of the neighboring Baumgartner Building, the Midwest will provide a much-needed venue for performing arts and events. The Baumgartner addition will create space for dressing rooms and rehearsal areas, transforming the theater into a working performance facility. And with handicapped accessibility a priority in the redesign, it is assured that everyone can enjoy the Midwest Theater experience.
It's a beautiful historical site that delivers different venues of art, entertainment, bringing people together, not only in the Valley, but throughout western Nebraska. So it reaches not only our local community, but outreaches to the regional branches of our state.
The Midwest Theater is a gathering place. It is already being utilized by many groups in the North Platte Valley for education and entertainment. The transformation of the theater will provide a wonderful opportunity for growth in the arts. The Midwest will become a regional centerpiece for performances and events of all kinds, reaching beyond the borders of Scottsbluff and Gearing to enrich lives. The beauty and wonder that is the Midwest Theater is a gift to everyone.
We first walked into this theater, and Michael and I just said, "Oh my, this is wonderful." Even just the lobby, it's always exciting when you have a beautiful old theater like this that people have taken the trouble to restore and that they're working on nurturing as a space for the arts. And you realize, oh, it's like a Stradivarius, so it's a treasure.
Is it fun visiting your grandmother? What are the things that you remember about a given civilization or a given society? And you by and large remember the things that are beautiful about it. And if you're talking about beauty, you're talking about art. And, you know, I mean, that's what you remember. That's what exists. That's what lasts.
Each step of the restoration has been a milestone. However, the public lighting of the marquee has been perhaps the most memorable. The marquee is a symbol of our community, an icon that beckons each of us to get involved in the project.
I think that the Midwest is an absolute vital part to Scottsbluff downtown, and that we need to get more people coming here. You can look around in a large area, in a large community, or even here, and you can see that some of these historic buildings have been ripped down and torn apart so they can be more modern and up to date. And you know, sixplexes are great. Granted, you can see great movies, but when you come here and you see a movie, you're getting education in the history of Scottsbluff, and you're helping keep a vital part of Scottsbluff history alive. And it's just absolutely vital that people start coming here, volunteering, watching movies, and just bringing back part of that rich culture that Scottsbluff has.
There are many benefits associated with the restoration of the Midwest Theater. Our community has received funding for the purpose of restoring the Midwest. However, grants from organizations such as the Kiewit Foundation must be followed by community support. The Midwest Theater is a piece of art, a piece of our history, a piece of each of us. The historic Midwest Theater needs your financial support to survive. The grand old lady needs your help. Memories alone won't keep her alive. Don't let the Midwest Theater disappear.
I remember coming to the Midwest Theater when I was young, sitting in the balcony, okay, throwing a little popcorn down on the people down below, But actually, I saw Bambi in this theater when it first came out, and I remember coming here with my cousins, my grandmother, my grandfather, aunts, uncles. This was one of our forms of entertainment. We didn't get to come to town and go to the movies too often, but when we did, it was definitely a memorable experience.